Welcome back, hodlers. It's been a little bit of a wild ride this week, right? Because we had that drop about, I don't know, 8% on Bitcoin. It wasn't actually that big of a drop, but it was a sudden drop. Now, one thing to note about that drop is legacy markets went down too. So the Dow was down, S&P 500. It seemed like all the markets were kind of taking a hit. One token in specific took a little bit of a bigger hit than normal. You might know which token that I'm talking about. So we are talking today about Cardano. Now, Cardano took a massive hit, giving a really good buying opportunity to roughly $1.80. Now, I didn't check the charts at around $1.80. I was more looking around $1.94, give or take. So not quite at the bottom, but near the bottom of the candle for sure. Now, that's very important to note because Cardano usually holds a lot of support. And if you see other tokens, they didn't really drop all that much compared to Cardano. So for example, if you take a look at Polkadot held a lot of support there. Solana obviously held a lot of support as well, and it's continuing on its uptrend. Ethereum obviously held on to a good amount of ground. And even Bitcoin didn't capitulate that far, but Cardano definitely did. So this was a pretty big wick. Now, the big thing to identify with this is why did this happen? And is Cardano done? Are we going to go somewhere else? What's happening? Now, we did talk about how Cardano was kind of, sort of forming a pennant, kind of. If we take a look, I'll draw that again for you. So Cardano was building a pennant, and it had to decide whether to break out to the upside or to the downside because it's not directional. So at this point, it broke out to the downside and went down very seriously compared to the whole market. Now we do see on the RSI, it went down a pretty dramatic statement, but right now we are on the more oversold portion of the RSI. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't go further down, but I'm going to say that that's most likely not going to happen. Cardano does a really good job at holding some specific levels of previous drops. One being here, and we see how it kind of held on to that last peak to kind of hold that $1.80 as support. And Cardano's done this before, right? So we held on to this peak over here numerous times when we were going through when May and April happened where Bitcoin kind of went on a shit and Cardano held really, really strong there. And it's traditionally done similar moves, right? So now that being said, right now Cardano is just acting like a stablecoin, a $2 stablecoin at this point. So is Cardano in a position where it is going to make its way higher? Now, I think indefinitely yes. But a lot of things have to happen first because we need the ecosystem to really ramp up. We need a lot of things to happen with ADA. On top of that, I mean, it's Metcalfe's law, especially with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The more people that are going to use Cardano is going to increase the value of the system. Very similar to, say, Ethereum has a bunch of dApps and NFTs on it and everything else. And we see Ethereum going into price discovery mode essentially right now, beating all-time highs. So a great time for Ethereum. And we do see it at almost the top of the RSI. We do see Bitcoin up in the overbought area, kind of just inching there. XRP middle of the line. Polkadot kind of overbought, not really. So the market in general is looking a lot better than what ADA is looking right now. But that being said, that doesn't mean that Cardano can't go higher because it most definitely will. Now, it could be anywhere between the 310 and 380, but I do think that this is going to happen the next time ADA is able to actually break out. Now, in terms of the ecosystem, Cardano is doing things. There are things happening within the ecosystem. In terms of Ardana, which is a DeFi DEX or a DeFi platform, I don't know if they're a DEX, but they are a DeFi platform that is building on Cardano, and they did just raise $10 million in strategic funding. So we do see at least glimmers of these dApps and these other organizations trying to fund a little bit of money, trying to get their project started on Cardano now that we have smart contracts live and everything is available for development. Now, one thing to remember with Cardano, right? Because a lot of people look at the $2 Cardano and they're like, why isn't my ADA moving? Why isn't my ADA moving? And I don't look at it that way because definitely with Cardano, it takes its time. It consolidates for extended periods of time. It might drop off for a little bit, but eventually it trends upwards, right? And I know that sounds very simpler to say, but yes, it's true. Cardano in bull markets and the end of the bear market, it was trending upwards, right? Now, we don't have a lot of trading data for Cardano in previous markets because Cardano obviously wasn't in previous markets. But we can look at the Cardano value against other altcoins or even Bitcoin, one being the ADA ETH chart. We see Cardano is extremely bled out right now at this point, going down to almost lows that we haven't seen back in May, which is going to be pretty big. But a lot of the reason for this is because Ethereum right now is in all-time highs and potentially might go into price discovery. Now, the ADA BTC chart was interesting because we thought that we were going to have this little breakout, but we kind of got rejected, and now we're moving back downwards even to a lower Satoshi value. So we still have some support at roughly 3,000 Satoshi. So we'll see exactly what happens within this chart. But I do suspect, and last time we hit a low such as this, we did shoot up in terms of the Bitcoin value. And I think that this is very indicative in what happens. Usually Bitcoin goes, Ethereum goes, these two big cap coins go back up to all-time highs. Then we start seeing a lot of the mid-cap altcoins like Cardano, like Solana, and then after that you'll potentially see the Matic, right? So this is sometimes the progression that the market is going to take. That being said, though, Cardano is up roughly, I don't know where the statistic is where I put that, it's up roughly 3,200%. So it's up a dramatic amount from its all-time low. Now, I assume that most people didn't get the opportunity to buy ADA at, say, a cent, a penny, 2 cents, 3 cents. I'm assuming a lot of people didn't get that opportunity. But now we're up here. We're so far from this all-time low. So look at the returns for Cardano already. Look at how much it's already built. So if it consolidates for an extended period of time at these high levels, that makes me bullish because I know that it's going to hold strong at the higher levels that it's able to achieve. We know that the blockchain itself is peer-reviewed. We know that a lot of thought goes into the process of updating the Cardano blockchain, which is why it takes so long for Cardano to actually implement changes like Alonzo. We've been waiting for this for quite a while. But the reality is that the crypto market is a work in progress. Ethereum 2.0 isn't even out. There's a lot of work still happening within this sector. Now, a lot of people were made rich out of this, a lot of people. And some of those people went out and bettered their lives, bought homes and everything else. So luxury homes in Portugal worth $4.7 million was paid in Cardano. So they bought their homes in Cardano. Obviously, a lot of people made a very smart investment with getting into Cardano. I was lucky enough to chuck a little bit of money into Cardano at roughly 3 cents. I'm very happy about that, and I don't plan to sell any Cardano anytime soon. But I do believe at this point we're probably looking at between that $5 and $8 ADA. Even Prayash Patel, the CEO of Prometheus, I've never heard of either of them, but he believes that we'll reach $5 next year. In that case, he will invest more in Portugal, meaning buying more properties. So it's good to see that. It's good to see a lot of people that have taken some money from their investment, have profited off of it, and kept some Cardano on the sidelines to engage for higher times and higher prices, because it is going to go higher from here. I'm not saying that you're going to get the 3 cent to $2 rates. You're never going to see that again with Cardano. An increase like that is gone. You're never going to get that opportunity. But the opportunity still for $2 to $8 or $2 to $5 if you want to be conservative, that is still a very realistic opportunity that is most likely going to happen by the end of this market cycle. So that is roughly still like a 2 to 3x depending on how you look at it. Could be a 4x if it goes all the way up to $8. Now, the one big thing to note is bridges and everything else are having to come with these dApps that are going to be coming out. We have NFT stores, Boldly being one specific that are building an Ethereum to Cardano bridge to kind of help facilitate moving over NFT makers to a more eco-friendly option being Cardano. Now, again, I'm not very bearish on Ethereum in terms of I'm bullish on where it's going to go in the long term. I am more bullish on, say, Cardano outperforming. But that being said, there are problems with Ethereum that we can't overlook for people like NFT creators. And again, Ethereum has a place. It's going to be an amazing smart contract store of value, fantastic blockchain that does fundamentally a lot of things. But Cardano is going to be something that is more eco-friendly, more effective, cost-effective to actually get in for a lot of artists that can't afford dramatic fees. So bridges like this have to come into play to move funds from Ethereum into the Cardano networks. So Boldly is one of the bridges that are coming out. Boldly, as I know, I believe it's like an OpenSea. I could be wrong in that, but they have a bunch of NFTs posted up. It's a big focus. Now, I'm not big in the NFT market, but I do know how big it is for cryptocurrency. And I think it's important once we start moving into the late games for Cardano. So at this point, Cardano is $2 stablecoin. What's happening? Is it going to go higher? Is it not going to go higher? Obviously, it's going to go higher. I do think next up is going to be all-time high into $4, and then most likely capping off our market cycle somewhere around the $5 to $8. That's it for me. Hopefully this video helped you understand what's happening exactly with Cardano. If it did, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to the channel for more crypto news and content. And of course, happy hodling.